What's going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and goes catching up with one of our favorites. Jim Miller's fighting Chase Hooper at UFC 314. It's coming up April 12th down in Miami. Big card for you, Jim. I noticed you got rid of the beard. Is it a winter beard and you kind of cleaned up a little bit, or what's the deal here?
Yeah, I felt like I needed to clean it up a little bit. I go through those phases where it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna grow it out, and then the whim to buzz it off hits me, and it's like, yeah, I need to buzz it off, and that's kind of the way that it goes. Like that's why my hair is short too. It's like I had been growing it out for a while, and then you know the the fatherly chores. One of them was a clogged toilet, and I was plunging this toilet, and my hair was so long it was getting in my eyes as I was trying to aggressively, yet not too aggressively, to make a mess, plunging this toilet. And I was like, this hair is pissing me off, and I cleaned the toilet, ran into the bathroom, buzzed my head, and hopped in the shower. And that's kind of the way that it goes with me. So yeah, it was just a whim to do it, and it grows back, fortunately. So
You said fatherly duty, but something tells me you're the guilty one. You're the one that left that deuce in there.
no. I'm not gonna take that blame right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was I don't want to throw one of my kids under the bus, but I'm pretty certain I know who it was. And
Got it.
there was a roll of paper towels
Oh.
right next to the on the sink, and then and
Mm.
then of course, like, the roll of toilet paper, of course, it doesn't go on the roll in their bathroom, but it was like sitting behind the clothes hamper, so it was right there, like within arm's reach. But I think there might have been a little panic going on, and someone who will remain unnamed grabbed some brawny paper towels to wipe their butt with.
Come to think of it, now I'm really grateful for those stands where you can put like 5 or 6 of them. Because when I was younger, I don't know
Right.
how many times my dad would yell, crack that
Uh-huh.
fucking door open, I'd have to slip it in there, and I think
Yep.
I did it a couple times, but yeah, the old days, man. Um,
Yeah.
hey, would you not shed, but why don't you embrace Miami? Would you ever show up as Sonny Crockett, some colorful, like Hawaiian type, or like Cuban type of a hat maybe, or a shirt, and just have fun with it? Kind of like old man Volkanovski. He did the
Hmm.
old man thing. It was kind of
Yeah.
fun. But maybe on your end, just catch everyone off guard and do that. Would that be fun, or is that just not your type?
I mean, to a degree, like, I don't mind that stuff at all. I just uh sometimes I'm just not willing to put in the effort. So like, I'm not a like, I will wear, like, bright and flashy clothing, but just to essentially peacock a little bit, just to tease my
Yeah.
wife. Um but yeah, like, it's not really my style, like, I'm more of a function over form kind of guy. So
Yeah.
um yeah, like, see, yeah, I don't know. I'd rather be wearing, as comfortable as stuff as possible, because you never know what you're gonna have to do. So that's usually the name of the game for me.
It just seems like you have so much fun out there. And sometimes they stick you in the apex. I'm glad this
Mhm.
is a big arena, a big fight card. It's deep.
Yep.
There's gonna be a lot of fans, and the fans love you. So I thought maybe you could catch them off guard a little bit. Kind of like a colorful color, like mine or something. Or maybe go
Yeah,
Versace and pretend you're Jorge Masvidal for a day. I don't know.
there you
Um,
go.
Jim, just I know you're not gonna do this, but if you're curious, if you wanted to fight at UFC
Hmm.
400, it would be
Oof,
on
nope.
roughly International Fight Week of 3031. Just in case you're curious. And as
30,
crazy as that,
31.
sounds, in 3031, you'd be 47 years old. Dan Henderson once fought
Yeah, I
for a
know.
title
Yeah.
at 47. And George Foreman, God bless him, he just passed away. He won a title
Huh.
at that age as well. I'm not putting you in a title fight or nothing like that. I just thought, I wonder if he even knew this, because I did the math.
Well, thank you for doing the math. Yeah, I don't foresee that happening. I was actually just talking to somebody else and talking to some other media the other day, and like I'm excited for the next thing, right? Like my entire adult life has been this sport. And I was fortunate enough and worked hard enough to be able to make MMA and competing in MMA my job when I signed with the UFC. It took some stones to jump in full bore, and fortunately I had my wife to back me up, and then I also trained my ass off and earned a bonus in my first two fights. So in the first 2 months, fighting for the UFC, I made an extra $70,000, which was a fuck ton of money for me at that time. So um uh this has been it, other than like a couple things here and there, and having a gym and stuff. um it's my life. And like I said, I haven't had the ability really, especially now in these last couple years. Like it takes a lot out of me to be in a fight camp now. It's like I can do all the fatherly stuff, running the kids to practices and all that fun stuff, and going to games, um and cooking dinner, and doing all these other things, and train. And like that's kind of about it, when I'm in camp, because it's recovery has become such a big part of it for me. So um yeah, I'm excited for that next thing. I don't know exactly what it is just yet, and what it's going to be, and what I can do, because it's I've been around the block quite a few times in this, but it's like I haven't made enough money to, I haven't made that fuck you money to be able to just not do anything, especially with four kids in one of the most highly and heavily taxed states in the country. So yeah, like there's gonna be something after MMA, and I'm excited to dive into whatever that is.
In
So I don't
camp,
want to fight in
and
a sports cell.
let's just say it's let's just say it's an 8-week camp. It might be longer, it might be shorter. But when you are in camp, every day when you put that big toe on the ground after waking up, are you just in pain or are you just sore? How would you describe it? Or are there some days where you actually wake up feeling pretty good because you got the recovery game worked out?
It's like riding being in a little tiny blow up dinghy in the middle of a storm in the Pacific, right? You're just there are good days, and that some days you're really high and you're feeling good, and then other days you're down low and you're not feeling great. So that's kind of the way it is. Honestly, even at a fight camp, it's like you get up with the bumps and bruises, and those things where it's like hop out of bed and you're like, why does that leg hurt, or why is my back tight? What did I do? So uh, the Indiana Jones had the line, right? It's not the years, it's the miles. And that's 100% what it is. So it's like, I've got a lot of miles on my body, through uh a couple dozen you know, training camps, UFC training camps. That's a lot of rounds. That's a lot of uh, time on the mats with people trying to hit me hard, or trying to put me in joint locks, or some chokes. And um, yeah, it adds up. Stuff happens, and uh, yeah, it's I'm banged up. So I enjoy the camps. I really do. I love training. I love going into the gym every day, and pushing myself. I need that. Um, I need to try to get more out of myself. Um, and actually, like, if I take time off because I'm dealing with an injury or something like that out of a fight camp, and I'm away from the gym, I actually sometimes feel even worse than when I'm in there consistently. So um, like I need to keep opening, closing that door every day, and so that the hinges keep moving. But yeah, like there's a there is that side of me that's like, okay, we're getting to that point where we don't need to be in a UFC fight camp anymore. Like if one of these YouTubers wants to box me after that, like let's do it. But yeah, to go through the grind of MMA camps is part of it's getting a little bit old.
I understood your Raiders of the Lost Ark reference. That I love that movie, but I don't know that Chase Hooper would because he's very, very young. Is that odd getting an opponent so young? Um, did you ever think you'd be fighting a guy this young? Like, I mean, as soon as we heard it, we were like, that would be an interesting fight, but the age gap on it, we don't see too many of those.
No, it's we don't see a gap like this that often. But it's not weird. I mean, it's the fight game, and I mean, he's got what, a dozen UFC fights or something like that at this point. So he's been around for a little bit, and he came in super young. It's kind of what I get for sticking around so long. So it's bound to happen to fight guys from like yet another generation. So yeah, I mean his youth is definitely a tool for him and a weapon for him, and my experience is a weapon for me. So it's we'll see if he's able to use his youth, and I'm gonna try to see if I can use my experience.
There a piece of you that would be interested and kind of hope that it goes to the ground? Because I feel like that would be a really, really fun matchup on the ground to see you guys.
Yeah, I mean, like, I I never try to like really um get like too hooked on like where the fight's going to end up, right? Because it's like, hey man, like things could be over in an instant, or it could just be two grapplers, could just be a striking battle. Who the heck knows, right? So um it it is a fun fight. If it hits the mat, he's a very good grappler, and he's proven that. And the thing is, so am I. Like I was a black belt fighter in the UFC when he was in like the fourth grade. So it's if that's where the fight goes, that's where the fight goes. If it doesn't, oh well, I'm gonna try to punch him as hard as I can. So I'm prepared for everything. And yeah, just ready for as hard a fight as possible.
Be honest though, that wouldn't make it just a little bit sweeter though, a tap out.
Oh,
Just
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I've knocked a few guys out at this point. Um, Wrapping your arms around somebody's neck and making them quit uh that is the best. Like, because like you can hit somebody hard, and but there's still part of them that wants to be in that fight. Yeah, maybe the everything shut off, right? The computer's rebooting, but there's still some fight left in their body and their psyche. When you make somebody tap, like that's the ultimate, in my opinion. So yeah, I would love to get that opportunity to to get another submission win.
You brought up eras early on in the interview. Do you think this is the toughest this division has ever been, all eras included?
um I don't know. I don't know. The lightweight division has always been tough. Like it, it's kind of there really isn't an argument. That consistently the lightweight division is the deepest and is the hardest division. Um, uh, I mean, essentially, this whole time that I've been fighting here in the UFC, like that's the general consensus has been the lightweight division has been always been super deep. And um, I think that the sport is evolving. I think that athletes are getting better. Like you're definitely seeing less of certain things, less of guard play, less effective jujitsu because everyone's gotten good enough at defense that like the basic things don't work anymore. But yeah, I can't say whether it's harder now than it was, back in 2011. But it's always a dangerous place to to make your living here in the lightweight division.
Hey Jim, I was just looking at it. This was interesting. When you came into the UFC, BJ Penn was champ.
Yep.
Sean Shirk was the champ before him. But other than that, while you've been in the UFC is when the UFC's lightweight division has been in existence. Aside from that early era with Penn and Kyle Uno and Jens Pulver and all that. But wow, like that's incredible, man. So you've been through the BJ Penn era, Frankie Edgar, Benson Henderson, Anthony Pettis, Rafael Dos Anjos, Eddie Alvarez, Conor McGregor, and then I'm gonna throw in some interims too. Tony Ferguson, Habib Nurmagomedov, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, and now Islam Makhachev. That is crazy how many eras you have been a part of. Which one of those do you think is the most badass lightweight ever?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Like when I started training and competing in this sport, it was to fight BJ Penn. Like that. I wasn't training to fight the guy that works the tire shop. That I fought in my third fight or whatever. Right? Like I was training so that I could fight BJ, and I honestly think that he's like him at his prime he was just different. Like he didn't care. He fought everybody. I mean, holy shit, he fought Lyoto Machida, like it's pretty wild. I think the fight game has evolved. The champions have evolved. I mean, I'm probably one of the biggest Frankie Edgar fans on the planet. And I was gunning for my shot to fight him. I mean, we were training together and shit before he took that title fight, and I like we'd fought in 2006, and then it took me another 2 years to get into the UFC, and yeah, like I caught up, and I was ready for my rematch, and in that point we were training, like I said, we were training together, we were doing strength and conditioning together, we were sparring together, we were doing all sorts of stuff. So he's a guy that shared a lot of mat time with, and yeah, like he's a stud in my mind too, because there's like that guy was walking around at 162, and to be the lightweight champ, only cutting a handful of pounds when he's fighting guys that are probably walking into the octagon at $190 was really impressive as well.
Coincidentally, we're interviewing him in about 90 minutes for
yeah.
something else. Is there anything you could share with us that we could catch him off guard, like an old training story or anything like that he'd maybe laugh at, from early 2000s, I suppose?
You know what? It was one of those moments. I don't know if he remembers it happening, but like him and I were ranked, like, I mean, they weren't the official rankings at that point, right? But he was like probably number 2 or number 3, because I don't think he was fighting for the title just yet. And I'm in the top 10 at that point. And like we're kicking the shit out of each other, and the bell rings, and we go to like slap hands or like pound it or whatever, and it was the most awkward like high five ever. And it's like you've got two of the best lightweights on the planet, and it was like, and I remember just being like, oh man, like that was bad. Like like we're supposed to be tough badasses, like and all this shit, and like yeah,
This was in training?
like, yeah, it was so awkward that it was like burned into my mind. I don't even know when the heck that was. It was probably 2010 or something like that. It was it was if it was on film, it would have been really embarrassing. But fortunately, I don't think anybody caught it.
Well, at least he didn't leave you hanging. The funny ones too
Yeah.
are when you go and the other person turns away and you're just stuck there. You know, you have to high five yourself or something to play it off.
Yeah.
All right, here's one. Your brother had one of the most violent submissions ever. Really beautiful guillotine. And I know you've talked about it in the past, but what about you? What's your proudest submission win ever?
I don't know. I mean, that's a tough one because it's like there have been a couple that I think were you know that were really good. I don't even know if like proud is the right word. Like I'm yeah, I'm super critical of myself. So it's like every one of them is like, well, I could have been a little bit better. Could have been a little better, right? Getting revenge on Cerrone and getting the guillotine was that was a good one. That I was able to do that in front of my kids and stuff, and that was my 40th UFC fight, and that was pretty awesome. And like at that point too, that was one of the first fights in front of a big crowd that I'd had in a couple of years. I'd been on the Apex for a bit there. My armbar Fabrizio Camoes was I was a black belt at the time. He was a third degree black belt under Hoyler or Hoist. And armbarred him from my guard when he was fresh and uninjured and all that stuff. So I think that was a probably one of the like most perfect arm bars in the UFC, right? Like, and I didn't get a bonus that night, but the whole structure changed after that night because I didn't get the bonus. Yeah, that was it. That was a super tight armbar, and he had nowhere to go. He had absolutely nowhere to go because I did everything right that night, and that was the product of thousands upon thousands of reps. Not necessarily of that entry, but of that move. That's for sure.
You talked about
there's
you talked about what to do afterwards. You're not sure what's next, and I looked up your first
Mhm.
card, UFC 89. And there's three guys from that card that are doing something within MMA. Michael Bisping is a commentator. Chris Lieben is a judge. Chris Lytle is a commentator for Bare Knuckle. Dan Hardy's kind of a matchmaker. I don't know if you know, but he matchmakes the PFL Europe as well as announcing and hosting. And is that anything that you would like to do? Stay within MMA, or are you like, maybe doing something completely different that we don't know?
I love the sport. I really do. I love training it and competing in it. I do like the commentating. I've done a little bit on the local scale. It's that is fun. It's enjoyable. It's cool to be around the sport and to use my experience, to try to educate the fans that I'm talking to, right? That couldn't be it. That couldn't be the thing. I think the thing it has to be a little bit more exciting and dangerous. Like my nervous system is so burned out at this point of just seeing punches and submissions thrown at me that sitting at a desk just wouldn't fucking do it. So the main thing will probably have to be outside. Otherwise, I'm too fidgety to just sit there and do that and have that be my only thing. I need something that's gonna push me and make me a little uncomfortable, a little nervous, and I've done some public speaking and I do enjoy that, and that gets my, knots my stomach up, and it's definitely something that I do like to do, and I like to share the stories and try to tell them in a way that can help other people get over things that they're going through in their lives, and not just talk about what happened to me, right? So yeah, I think that my main thing will probably be outside of MMA.
Just to wrap up, let me just do a quick trivia. Do you know who you fought at UFC 108?
108 was Dwayne Ludwig.
Yeah. Do you know what city you fought Melvin Gillard in?
That was Nashville, Tennessee.
Do you know what event you fought Thiago Alves? The number.
Thiago Alves was 205.
Shit. It's pretty good.
I used to remember all the dates. I can't do that anymore.
That's impressive. I mean, I guess I could have kept going, but you're slam dunking me here. You have all your posters and gloves, or do you donate that, or what do you do with it?
I don't have all of it. Over the years, probably, like when I was bringing them to a gym that wasn't mine, I ended up losing a bunch of at least the posters and stuff like that. But I've got a decent amount. I'm actually looking at a pile of cardboard tubes right now. But yeah, like I've got a lot of the fight kits and stuff like that, and I'm not a memorabilia guy. I've never been that type, but I was like, like I kind of have to keep this stuff. So like I try to keep some for my kids and stuff like that, so they can each have, a piece of it. And there are some shadow boxes, UFC 200 and 205 are shadow boxed, and planning on getting 300 shadow boxed. But I have given a handful of like kits and stuff like that away to some really close people to me, and there aren't a lot of floating around there. It's people that have really gone above and beyond for me, that are like family to me, that have gotten some.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Jim, as always, for your time. You've done so many of these that to talk about camps and weight cuts and all that. I don't know. I like exploring different things about you, because so many people are fans of you through so many eras. And but yeah, man, again, always a pleasure to have you on MMA Junkie Radio. We wish you the best with the rest of your camp, your weight cut, your travels to Miami, and I hope you have a hell of a fight with a bonus
Absolutely.
versus Chase Hooper.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on, guys.